The good comedians know that to really hit a joke out of the park, to have the audience belly laughing, absolutely rolling about on the floor, unable to catch their breath because the joke, the comedian's sketch was so brilliant, often the jokes need to be relatable. They need to be where they bring the audience to a place of, it's so funny because it's true. Those jokes are the best. They hit the heart of everyone in the crowd. The comedian can bring out the irony, the glaring disparity, and say it in a funny, certain tone, and it is comedy. It's facetious. And the same can be true, with a grain of salt, that is, about a Mussar discourse. When a rabbi or a sefer, an idea, will point out a glaring difference, an irony in human behavior and how we act that is so true that it hits home, but it's almost funny and sad at the same time. It's a brilliant comedic sketch. And even a little bit of comedy can sometimes help the point to be driven home. And I heard this idea, this brilliant Mussar discourse from my 10th grade Rebbe, Rabbi Brandt, who heard it over B'Shem the great Rebbe Yehuda, Leib, Steinman, the Gadol Adar, Zecharna Lavracha, and they asked him, they posed the great Gadol Adar a question. They said, Rebbe, how is it that Korach didn't get that he had messed up? He launched a rebellion, he launched a mutiny, he had launched an absolutely hostile disagreement. He wanted a regime change, he wanted the podium, he wanted out with the old and in with the new. But the Gemara in Yuma tells us that he who misbehaves didn't have his manna, his breakfast, lunch, and dinner that was parachuted from above, show up at his doorstep. Rather, based on his lack of faith, he had to trek out to the outskirts of the camp and go pile it up inside of his basket and bring it home. The manna only fell right on your doorstep based on how much faith you had in it. So why didn't Korach get that the morning after he made this revolt, this rebellion, when he walked outside of his front door with his newspaper in his hand, wearing his bathrobe and his orange juice in his other hand, and he looked down and he didn't see the manna that morning? Why didn't he get it? That he had clearly made a huge mistake in launching a mutiny against Moshe Rabbeinu was an absolutely terrible idea. What did he miss? Reb Aaron Yehuda Leib Steinman Zecharna Lavracha, the Gadol Adar, said with a smile, because when he opened the door and he didn't see the man, he thought to himself, I must not have rebelled hard enough. He was dead set in his machlokes, so overcome by this envy, so stuck in his ways that this was what was right. So even an obvious sign, a touch on the shoulder by Hashem to say, take a break, cool off, he was able to portray in his mind, depict it, understand it as I need to rebel even harder. For so is the mahalach and the way that people go about when they have machlokes. It is so scary in the world of shalom bayis, so scary in the interpersonal relationships with colleagues, so scary with our kids that we can launch mutinies and we're unable to pull ourselves out of the mistake that we have made. We just keep making more shitos and piling on more and more proofs to our agenda without ever seeing the clarity and the emes, the truth. We should take deep breaths, reconsider things when we have agendas. See it from a different point of view. Learn to be a little bit loose. And be choshesh that, God forbid, our judgment has been clouded, and if the manna's right, not where it used to be, well then perhaps something needs to be done, and I may have made a mistake.
Thank you for listening to that episode. I hope you're well. This is Michal. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and check out all the podcasts from the Motivation Congregation Podcast Network. Please reach out on WhatsApp. Let's talk. Let's fight about these varts. Let's grow and steig together. And if you would be so kind as to like, and even write a review for the podcast. That also helps grow the platform and reach more people. And I guess if you want to be less kind, you can leave a bad review. I guess that works too. Either way, smash the link below, reach out on WhatsApp, and let's be in touch. Have a great day.